I told you I have a PhD, but mine is poor higher distribution. So, and he's also the CEO of Panorama Consulting Company Limited and executive financial consultant in Britain and organizing secretary, doctorate, and he's also many titles. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to welcome Professor Paul Kibicho to come and give us what he knows best or what he has best. As he comes, let's appreciate him kindly. Makofi tafadhali. Makofi kabisa. Thank you. Na hii watu wamesoma waonekana kama karibu sana. Professor.
Yes, sir.
How are you, sir? Karibu sana.
Good to see you.
He's a long-time friend of mine. I'm happy to be associated with one who has gone to several universities. I've also visited quite a number of universities. I've been in JQuat, UON,
Yes.
Riara,
Okay.
but I visited my cousins. Welcome.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The board of directors, the CEO, management members of Vision Africa, distinguished guests, once again, good evening. As you've been told by my brother here, my name is Kibicho Paul Mwangi, and I'll let you know briefly who Kibicho Paul Mwangi is, because it's good to introduce myself. I'm used to speaking to more than 10,000 groups of people, so this is a very small group, but I'll see you next time, invite many. Because inviting me to talk to 200 people is like putting an engine of a Range Rover into a feet. I don't know why I'm using the two mics. I need to be guided. I start to be guided. Why I'm using the two mics? Maybe. Can I use one? Because of that. Next time, let's have this. Let's have this. Anyway, I want to thank the management for giving me the honors of being here. As you've been told by my brother here, he was not able to introduce me properly for obvious reasons, because anybody who has never sat in a university class, it becomes a charade sometimes. And it's good to admit, if you don't know, you don't know. Am I right? And not knowing is not a claim. We don't know everything in our lives. But I'll let you know who I am. Of course, I hold a PhD in business. I hold a master's in business and finance. I hold a bachelor's in business and finance. I hold a Bachelor of Laws, Master of Laws, Higher National Diploma in Sales and Marketing, Diploma in Sales and Marketing, Diploma in Theology, Diploma in IT, Diploma in Counseling Psychology, Certificate in Proficiency, and I'm currently in university doing my second PhD in Constitutional Law. I only compete with Wajackoyah, Matters Education. And so that's me when I was graduating with my doctorate. It's good to have evidence. As a lawyer, it's good to have evidence. So that some of us Kenyans, we have been to universities who never admitted us, but we claim to have been. And you know what I mean by that. So I graduated at JQuat, and I want us to go. Of course, you've been told I'm the CEO of Panorama Consulting Company, which has been consulting for the last now 16 years. And we have done consultancies locally and abroad. I am the founder and the chairman of Quest Pinnacle Investment Ventures Limited, where I'm managing 251 million shillings for people in the diaspora. And I'm the brainchild of that idea. I am also the founder of Panorama Business College. I have a big college in Nairobi, built on my own piece of land, not hiring. Please underline that. So not hiring, but in my own piece of land. I work for Britam as their financial consultant. I am the organizing secretary for everybody who holds a PhD, genuine PhD, not from some backstreet universities. Something that has been cleared by CHE, Commission for Higher Education. Everybody, including Professor Steve Kiama, the VC, Nairobi University, the VC for PCA University, Professor Wangari Mwai, I am the organizing secretary. I am also a board member in several schools. I'm also a lecturer in the university, and I only teach masters and PhD. Bachelors, they have their lecturers. Again, by choice. Again, by choice. I am a gospel artist, for information, for those who don't know. I'm the only professor in the world who sings for the Lord. I do sing for the Lord. I'm a gospel artist with several songs. I am an author, have written many books. The only challenge I have with Kenyans, I thank God, Bwana, governor, I have been to 102 countries worldwide, and none going to India for medical tourism. Underline that. None going to India for medical tourism. And I'll tell you this, many times, if I land at Heathrow Airport, my sister is a medical doctor at Birmingham, Somerfield. She's a doctor at a place called Central England Hospital. So when I do take sometimes a train from Central London to Birmingham, and when I go to the trains, the bullet trains, you find Kenyans, they're talking about politics, but the whites are busy reading. Kenya, we don't have the culture of reading. Kenyans, you hear them, right, I'm a fixture up kiti ya AU. Ruto agari bado bottom up. You know, questions that don't add up. So I wonder, I'm also a blood ambassador of that circle, and I am also a presenter with Royal Media Services. Robert Kiyosaki says, the poorest of them all is the one who relies on one source of income. So if you are here and you only rely on one source of income, you are the poorest of them all. Don't go looking for another example. Give yourself as a perfect example. Secondly, I offer a very controversial statement. Being poor is by choice. Being poor is by choice. And the acronym POOR means passing over opportunities repeatedly. Passing over opportunities repeatedly. Like now we have got Fish on Africa. How many of us people bother? Some of us, we have got very expensive loans because in law we say ignorance is no defense. Now ajinga ndio waliuawa. Because I'll be talking about empowerment, financial empowerment. Remember, I hold a PhD in that field, and I have worked for 32 solid years, from 1992. And I got married in the year 1993. So even managing my wife for the last 1 year, and she has never run away, is a clear testimony I'm a performer. So far in our family, we have about 13 degrees, one family. In my house, we have 13 degrees, combined with my wife and my children. We don't speak the language that you speak. When I want to consume cabbages in my house, I don't speak the way you do. I want to instruct my wife, can I have brassica or rasaifa capitata? If I want to chew sugar cane, can I have officinalam saccharum? That's the language. If I want water, can I have 2 atoms of hydrogen, 1 atom of oxygen? Can I have sodium chloride? So let me say this. Between letter B and letter D, we have letter C. Between letter B and letter D, we have letter C. B starts between birth and death or destination. It is the choices that we make in life that defines who we are. You are a product of your own thoughts. And you can never be wiser than your thoughts. Point number 2, because before I go to my training, I'll surprise all of you seated here in this particular dinner. Some of us people, we are still living in the era of Homo habilis, Homo sapiens, and Homo erectus, if not Kenyapithecus and Giganthoropus. What do I mean by this? You no longer see workers carrying a bag of cement to take to a 17th floor house. What do we use nowadays? We use crane, am I right? We no longer have to engage people unless you are financially challenged who mix when you are doing the slab. We normally hire those lorries because of technology. You no longer have to take your patient to India Apollo Hospital to have him or her undergo a heart surgery. Nowadays, we are talking about telemedicine. Am I right? Because the space is not enough in the universe, we are using what we call iCloud as our data-saving arena. When you go to hospital nowadays, we don't do open heart surgery. We do RASA, writing by amplification, simulation, emission of radiation. We no longer take our patients to do X-ray. Nowadays, we are doing MRI. Messaging resonance imaging. What am I talking about? We are living in the era of artificial intelligence. We are living in the era of emotional intelligence. Even financially. If you are still using the old formula to make money, you need to wake up. Because you will find that the Republic of Kenya has already been subdivided. What do I mean by this? Financial empowerment. All of us people, we wake up every morning to look for money. Am I right? Everybody seated here has that desire of making money. How come some of us people, when you go to the hotel, the first thing that we ask is, how much is a cup of tea here? That is somebody suffering from what we call scarcity mentality syndrome. When you find yourself, and I'm telling you this because I'll be taking you through this financial empowerment. When you find yourself struggling financially, it is because the only place that you appears is the registrar of birds, Kenya Certificate Primary Education or CPE, or Kenya certificate of secondary education, your name does not appear anywhere in the Capital Markets Authority, either by trading in shares, debentures, and all have you, or your name does not appear in the land ministry. If you want to know that you are growing wealth, we are going to look at what you should do in terms of managing your resources so that by the end of it all, you may also enjoy life. Let me tell you, heaven, nobody understands heaven, including our bishops. And do not tell me that Genesis is different in our congregation and different in our homes. Whichever book that you read and you believe in, let me tell you, God has given us the freedom to choose our destiny. And I'll surprise all of you. Nobody, including this man called Joe Biden, has 36 hours in a day. We all have 24 hours within a day. But what you do within the 24 hours determines who you become. And that is why I'm a professor, whereas some of us have got no single academic paper. And that's why I was telling our CEO, Mr. Hilam Masharia, and I'll tell you as well, sometimes I have a problem with many people because of the way they think. Number one, if you want to become wealthy, there's a very big difference between being rich and wealthy. Rich people have loads of money, but there's no financial base. Wealthy people, they are rich in terms of many things I'll talk about, but have a financial base. If governor earns a salary of 1 million shillings, and my brother here earns from his business 250,000 shillings, who is more financially independent? From a lay person's point of view, he'll say that governor is more richer than him. Oh, and you, the boss can wake up one morning and say, we are tired, we are terminating you unconditionally, not using the leave of evil, but using the physical examination. What happens to your income? So we'll be looking at those fundamentals in our lives. And because of time, I have told you I'm an author. Somebody came and asked me, how did you buy your first car? I have never used a matatu for 30 years. I bought my first car in the year 1994, which I showed you. KYD 462 Nissan Sunny B11, Beijing Kara, tropicalized to match the terrain of Africa. So because people kept on asking me this question, I came up with this book which is called Defying All Odds, a true story, rising above adversities in life. I have sold more than 30,000 copies of this book. That is how achievers live. We come here after the 60th day. When you make money, enjoy life. You only live once. And that's why I've been to 102 countries worldwide. Tell me in a hotel. When I'm in New York, I don't sleep in any other hotel. A few meters from UNEP headquarters, we have one of Astoria, where we pay per night 249,000 shillings, and we don't feel it. When I'm in Lausanne, in Switzerland, I sleep in the same hotel of Astoria in Lausanne. When I'm in a place called Germany, Frankfurt, I sleep in a hotel. When I'm in Port Florence in Italy, I sleep in a hotel called Hotel President. So those are the kind of hotel. And when I'm in Italy, I sleep in Alon Basel Hotel, where I feel I spend more, so that there will be no chance of getting a vampire that can actually suck my blood. Because I'm that precious in life. Are you a value or are you a volume in life? Are you a value? When you go to Nakuru National Park, you find monkeys exposing their bigger anatomy and morphology to all the visitors, but nobody is bothered taking a photo to them because anything without value is readily available. If you want to see the 5 big animals, you have to enter deeper into the forest to get them. Good things are normally hidden. Am I right? Even wealth is normally hidden. If you draw a wealthy pyramid, majority are at the bottom, where they struggle that even putting food takes the hand of God in terms of prayers. And they think that prayers alone will make them rich. No, I'm here to change that narrative. For us people to succeed financially, and I'm not poor, by the way, by our standards. My wealth was properly calculated in January, and I'm almost closing a B. I'm tired of M's. By choice again. And I'll tell you this, I was telling Mr. Hilam, I wanted even to come with a gasoline. But my daughter blocked my Range Rover with her X6 BMW. And she disappeared with her keys. I don't know where she went. You know, that is the kind of life we lead ourselves. You know, sometimes people glorify poverty. Our maker is not a God of poverty. Am I right? We must change our attitude. And we normally say your attitude defines your altitude. And for those who read the Bible says, as a man thinketh. So if you think you are angry, the angels of the universe will conspire to make you more angry. And you know what? This is what we call the law of attraction. Am I right? Anybody who has ever taken a risk, if you are here and you don't take a risk, you don't belong to earth. You belong to another universe, but not earth. So we are going to have what we call a total paradigm shift, even the way we manage money. And let me tell you, people with money don't make noise. Poor people are like a hen. When it gives us one egg, it makes the entire village to realize it has donated one egg, which cannot even feed a 1-week-old child. But a cow given to 20 liters, 50 liters, it is silent. Money hates noise. If you are here and you want to make money, you must avoid making noise. If you go to a local pub, people who buy the 20 shilling glass of beer, keg, hey, patia governor, glass beer. But when we are buying Don Perignon, for those who understand that beer that we take, Don Perignon, it costs about 75,000 shillings in our local hotels. Filalosa Kempinski, or maybe Tribe, because that's where I normally go. And I pray God at Sigona personally. You buy even 2 and you are quiet. 150K goes and you are quiet. And you don't even make noise. But poor people, they are the noisiest. And that's why they say, empty the best. So I have written a book here because of time. And please make sure that you learn what I'm telling you. I have taught many people. I'm not proud, but I'll tell you I was awarded by President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. He knows HSC Civilian Division for having helped more than 5 million people, 197,233. To change their lives. It is not godly to be poor. If you touch this suit, touch the material. I don't buy suits locally personally. I'm tired of buying suits locally. You know, and even my choice is similar to that of Murukomen anyway. So, and poor people, they normally argue, sikata ile argue anoki inasema saa, because of scarcity mentality. I hate scarcity mentality personally. And even when I came here to take my lunch, I ordered the most expensive because that is what my stomach is familiar with. And he knows what I took as lunch. And I told him but of course, Vision Africa has got enough money they were able to cater. And even to ensure that tomorrow I'm flown to Wilson Airport because of another engagement in the morning. So, I have also written a book which is called Demystifying Success. What is success? Gentlemen and ladies, I am a researcher and please with a lot of tremendous humility. With profound humility. Anybody who has earned a PhD in Kenya since independence, we are 13,541. And the statistics includes the deceased. So the ones who are kicking like me, we are 8,041. And I'll tell you this, we do research. We never argue from a point of ignorance. We correct data, we analyze, and we give an empirical inference. Which can actually be analyzed through a scientific process and come to the same result. Standard deviation 0.008, degrees of freedom 5. What is success? For me, success is going through failure after failure without losing the enthusiasm to do it. I wish I could have had an amen for those who understand what amen means. So, and the first step toward success is when you refuse to become a prisoner of the circumstances you first found yourself in. If you are to be judged by where we came from, Jesus Christ was born in a manger, he never became a calf. I was born in a forest. I never became a monkey. Here I am. All of you listening to me. So, I wrote a book, Demystifying Success, because majority of us people, you don't appreciate how success comes in. And how do you know that you have arrived? If you don't know where you are going, any road will take you there. Am I right? And then how do we know our target has been achieved? We look at the target vis-a-vis what has been achieved, and we do the gap analysis to know what are the parameters that are not adding value to the system to give us the results. So demystifying success. Somebody in Turkana Mautelegon kwa Wajackoyah bought a bicycle last week, and he has invited his pastor for Thanksgiving because to him having a bicycle is success. Whereas Sir Richard Branson has ordered 2 space shuttles, one at 1.2 trillion. He has 2.4 trillion worth. We are paying, because you understand, we are paying to and fro 60 million shillings, and of course it has been overbooked. I'll be flying in 2027 personally, but they're still managing my money meanwhile. One way, 30 million the other way. Going to the space. When some of us people, we were born in Nakuru, we married in Nakuru. We went to Menegai Secondary School. We married at section 58, and we have a piece of land in my receipt. So we are local in everything. Children, local. Girlfriend, baby, local. Everything is local. Those are difficult characters to deal with. So I have written a book. So demystifying success, please make sure that you get a copy of that book. And I've got my marketing manager, whom I have worked with for more than 15 solid years. She's here, Madam Esther. She'll be having those books with me, with her. So please make sure you get a book. And when you get a book, I autobiography your book. Any bank that you go, any serious bank that you pass through, and you show them my signature, and you free ride, either to Mombasa or 5,000 shillings, whichever is easier for you. So, personal financial wellness and wealth creation. Then I have written another book here. Kenyans have lost money through what we call Ponzi schemes. Am I right? Remember, Kenyans are very gullible. The other day you saw a guy coming all the way from the US with a wild coin, including octogenarian. You saw them going there like this. Ni wapi mtu anashukuriwa macho? Ni jisho moja ni 7,000 na nikifugua yote bili. People lost money through Desi and other things. I'm not, even the other day in Eldoret, people lost billions of shillings. Am I right? So I've written a book here, Investment Without Regrets. Ignore my book at your own peril. Ignorance, I'm telling you, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. And most of us Kenyans, anyway, then I have written a book here, Are You a Leader? The transformative and authentic leader of 21st century. So I requested my secretary, my marketing manager, not to come with many books because I knew I was coming to Kenyans. It is than assets, and therefore we are walking bankrupt characters in the universe. And we are living on borrowed times. Some sicknesses that you see people getting, it is because they are not settled in their central nervous system, which comprises of medulla oblongata, hypothalamus, and pituitary glands. And therefore, their neurocirculatory system is completely distorted because they have no money. When they go to bed, they keep turning throughout the night, and they remit the number of days. Vision Africa is here to do that. They were able to hire me. I'm the most expensive consultant allowed. So having me on board here, they had to break the bank. Because I normally charge in dollars. I'm tired of this currency that keeps on losing value. Now, let me tell you, you'll be surprised. As a scholar, I have been to so many universities. I have also been to Boston, Harvard University. I've been to Chicago University, Illinois. I've been to all universities, DePaul and Park. I have also been to Witwatersrand in South Africa. I have been to University of South Africa, overlooking Union buildings for those who have been to South Africa. You know, I have been to quite a number of destinations. You know, enjoy life. I told you that, my brothers and sisters. It is quite unfortunate, some of us, because of some of you seated here, the wives you have, they were not your first choice. But limited resources, limited choices. Am I speaking the truth? And that is why you keep seeing men turning their head, because money opens up eyes. And even dressing conscious, it is because of money. Am I right? Even eating balanced diet. Some of us people behave like hyenas, clearing and forwarding. Whatever comes our way, because you can't make a choice. So I've come to make sure that you people, you change the way you do your things. And I want to thank Vision Africa, CEO and your board of directors. Congratulations, Bwana Maingi. Let me tell you, ask him, he knows. I have consulted for more than 17,000 circles in Africa and beyond. I am a member of World Credit Union. I'm a delegate. The other day we were in Texas. The other day we were actually in Manchester. The other day we were in Gold Coast, that is in Australia. Of course, it's a 2 hours flight from Sydney. I was sleeping in a hotel, TM and M, Paradise servers. Yes. So I was in Brisbane as well, Canberra, Perth, Melbourne. I've been there all over. And in America, I've been to that estate, and I'm not vying for any post. Because money makes you move. Without money, you are limited. We have somebody who can die because of headache. He or she can't afford a Panadol. Am I speaking the truth? Money prolongs life. If Stanley Gido Matiba was an ordinary Kenyan, he could have died many, many years ago. Am I right? Yes. Money prolongs life. And money means man on nature, enjoy yourself. That's what money means. Man on nature, enjoy yourself. And you have to succeed. Obama was not the richest in America. He never appeared in Alexander Forbes listing. But Obama had one thing. He came up with a very good slogan, clarion call. Yes, we can. And Obama means, the name Obama was able to be reflected in life. Obama means, only believe and move ahead. Only believe. And if you fail, don't you worry. You're not the first one to fail. As a matter of fact, Thomas Edison, he tried to make the bulb 9,999 times failing. But I liked his optimism. He said, at least I know 9,999 times that can make a bulb not to light. But I know one way that can make a bulb to light. So you must maintain optimism in life. And then the word fail means first attempt in learning. You never fail, you learn. Even if you lose money, you don't fail. You have learned a lesson. Am I right? So financial empowerment, personally, I represent money. Honestly speaking, me, I represent money. And I drive the car I want. And I have got several homes in Nairobi. If I'm coming from Naivasha and there is a traffic jam along Naivasha, Nairobi Road, I'll sleep in Resurrection Gardens in Kalen. I'm next to Resurrection. I have a big house, a 5-acre piece of land. 5-bedroom house with a suspended swimming pool. And a helipad to cater for inconveniences in life. If I'm coming from Thika Road and there is traffic, I normally dash to Muthaiga. I'm neighbor to Keep Kulei, the former State House Comptroller. And if I'm coming from JKI, there is a lot of traffic, I just go to a place called Balaka Estate, where we have got some posh houses that can accommodate a man of my station, charisma and pragma. So financial empowerment. Let me take you through this. Why do you require to be financially empowered? Let me tell you today, my brothers and sisters, and I shared with the board, I shared with Mr. CEO, most of us people, we mistake that being a youth is not a career. Being a youth is not a what? A career. And as you sit down right now and enjoying what we call BMR, based on metabolic rates, you are still aging unconsciously. Am I right? Now, let me surprise you, all of you, before I go to my topic. This is what we call the product life cycle. When Colgate was becoming obsolete, the research and development, they went back to the drawing board and they came up with what we call Colgate Humble. It was given 10 more years of shelf life. When Omo was getting extinct, they came up with Omo with the power form. When Everyday was coming to become extinct, they came up with what we call Everyday Packer Power. Never say die. Another 10 years. But shall we have Nasil Habo? Even if you go for what we call plastic surgery, the calendar is still turning on. You require money because for those who have done agricultural economics, the law of diminishing returns, marginal rate of technical substitution, as you sit down here, remember the working life and the energy that you have diminishes with the time. Am I right? You should not work forever. Don't work forever, my brothers and sisters. Even me, I will not work forever. I'll be going to universities to teach, like I'm a visiting lecturer at UNISA, because I cannot allow this one to go to the grave. Because the wealthiest place in the world is in the grave. Where we have presidents who never became. Where we have bishops who never became. Where we have poets who never became. I thank God I have realized my MDP. If you are seated in this meeting and you don't appreciate, you don't know what is your MDP, I'll tell you what MDP means. Please make sure that you come and I place my hands on your head. MDP stands for major definite purpose. What is your major definite purpose? My late motivational speaker, Dr. Maos Munlo, he was saying the greatest tragedy in people's lives is not death, but leading a life without purpose. Unless you realize where you wake up every morning, 80% of Kenyans, they report to where they hate most. And that is why when you say hello to a beautiful girl, Jennifer, unaenda nje, kwani huoni? Ukimwambia uko smart, halafu, na anaenda. Because poor people, they have got mood swings at all time, and they don't talk nicely. They are full of negative vibes. Negative mental attitude is their mainstay. It's their hallmark. But a guy with money, how are you, Sam? Quite well, doing better than last year. What about you? You see, even the greetings change. And you know, poor people, they have accepted to be poor. Because if you go to Nairobi, poor people have got very bad names that even denote their poverty. Kologosho, Madare, Kwaje, Gamokoro, Kwarubeni. You know, rich people, they have special names. Roresho, Rore, Kile, Moda. You know, those names. And rich people, they take their children to schools that have got motivating names. Poor people, they take their children to schools that are even demotivating by their name. Getuanyaga Academy, Kivefero Academy, Kemedelo Academy. But good schools, people with money, it is St. Andrew's story, where we do not go driving, we go flying. Peponi, Pioneer Nofa, Blaiban, Udi Creek, where you pay and you're not struggling. And you know what? Petty people manage petty cash. Petty people manage. Majority of us people seated here, but of course not here, they spend so much time and they don't make money. Why? Because they have what we call maze philosophy. Maze. M-A-Z-E. Maximum activity, zero effects. Maximum activity, zero effect. Because and I do not want you to be business people any longer. Kindly make sure that you change NBA to lead what we call NEA. I want all of you to be entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are risk takers. Number two, entrepreneurs, if you a businessman goes to Mumia's sugar, he will only carry sugar and he goes back home. An entrepreneur carries sugar and molasses. Wow. A businessman making what we call a uga, he only makes unga and he forgets the byproduct of unga gives you another stream of income, animal feeds, which we call concentric diversification. Others do conglomerate diversification. Let me say this, even before, don't you worry, I'll be waiting up my topic. You know, Kenyans, they have no patience. And Kenyans, they rush at the 11th hour. If you want to know a Kenyan, go to the airport. Dubai. China, Shago. You know, like they run like headless chicken. For me, I'm in the airport 3.5 hours before. Because anything can happen along the way. Am I right? And you miss a flight. And you disappoint many people in the chain. But some of us people, we don't understand what we call network analysis. If you drain plastering, you drain painting. Now, deep within our minds, financial empowerment. I'm talking about you people becoming entrepreneurs. Please make sure that you pay to become that person I'll be talking about here. The problem with Kenyans, we are even mean to our businesses. You can never invite a consultant to come and do what we call a business audit. I thank God I was appointed by the Pope all the way from Rome. It is called pontifical appointment to do organization audit for Mater Hospital. And they paid me good dollars. They never paid me in euros, although they belong to Schengen for those who fly frequently. Some people may ask, what is Schengen? You only get one visa and you can go to 28 countries in Europe and other places. Anyway, money is sweet. It makes you understand things. Now, let me say this, honorable members of this house, because I've been given less than 1 hour. And of course, Ms. Jomo, you know I must do a service to all of you. All of you people, you have a seed of growth. Am I right? Everybody seated here, you have a seed of growth. But for a seed to produce more, it has to die first. No pain, no gain. Mutakashamfuguni. Some of you people, when you invite us to come and audit your business, you want to pay me 30,000 shillings. I drive my fuel gasala all the way from now. Of course, I can't come. I'll tell you for free now. If you invite me those kind of payments, I'll ask you, did you miss my one number? And you found my number anyway, or you called me. Because I'll not come. Say that I'm proud. That is my life. And this far, the Lord has been faithful. And I normally remind people, before I met you today, you were never part of my problem. Neither will you be after this. Let me talk about purpose, then I go to this very fast, Bwana CEO. There's a guy, I'm going to give you a classic, perfect example. If we could have made him to be a point of reference. For those who are lawyers in our midst, we talk about, you know what we talk about? Authorities. We have a young man in Kenya who was being paid 35,000 shillings per month through playing rugby. 35,000 shillings per month. And he was spending a lot of energy and time to practice playing rugby. But I thank God the Spirit of God visited him. His name is Mr. Ferdinand Omanyala. It does not matter how fast you are running if you are running in the wrong direction. No one will recognize you in our universe. If I talk about Vasco da Gama, do you know Vasco da Gama? Was he your uncle? If I talk about Isaac Newton, you know him. Was he your cousin? Why do you can imagine how we people, especially Africans, we've been taken for granted. That Rebuman had to come and see Mount Kenya. You had all the men in Nyeri, they were blind. Thompson Falls in Nyahururu, we had to wait for Thompson Falls to come and discover Thompson. That's how stupid we've been taken. And let me tell you all of you, even teachers, when you see a teacher in class, a teacher is paid only to come and confirm what has already been taught in the past. So when a teacher comes and says, today we are going to look at mitochondria, he is only coming to confirm to the students and he gets paid. Even a pastor in church, he does not come to us anything new. Genesis is Genesis, I said so. And remember, by listening to him, you pay tithes and offerings. Now, between somebody in a quarry and somebody preaching, who spends more energy? The person in a quarry, but who earns more? The preacher with a microphone. In life, you must become strategic. Am I right? Financial empowerment basically refers to that situation. And please note this at the line. I may not even use all the slides. We scholars, we don't have to read to give information. We are walking encyclopedias. We only retrieve. We only retrieve. And I'll tell you this for free. If I may ask all of you, don't respond because of time. Why do you work? Don't give me stories. You're not writing a composition. You work to make money. Then after you have made money, what do, all of you? You spend. It is at the point of spending that we have the rich, the haves, and the have-nots. Some of us people, we spend all the money that we have. And to make matters worse, we spend more. Anybody who spends more than he makes, he's always in debt. And these are the people with normal loan, emergency loan without anything to show, Furisa, Tara, Blanche, Okwajahasi. So, and you, to know, you even lose your freedom. If Mr. Hiram wants to send you money, you tell her, please don't send me money. Itemesi wana Furisa. Tumia job. Aren't you a prisoner in your own territory? So we want people to be financial. Now listen to this. We have got two types of debts, good debt and bad debt. If you take a debt to start a business with Vision Africa, that's a good debt. And I'm recommending to all of you, with a lot of humility to those people who are bankers, allow me, I'll be talking about SACCOs because I'm so passionate about SACCOs. I took a loan of 40 million the other day. I'm clearing it next week because I don't struggle paying for those kind of small loans. And I wish the CEO was there, he could have confirmed. Yeah, I normally, those are the kind of loans I take, 40, 30, 80. Sometimes they even offer me 100 million. I still have some in my account. Let me say this, my brother. A good loan, if you take loan to start a business, and of course, let me remind you what loans mean. Light acronym loans, for those people who don't appreciate knowledge. And I remind people, Mr. Hiriam Macharia, the CEO, knowledge is power, but wisdom is liberty. You know, I hope I have communicated to somebody in our midst that knowledge is power, but wisdom is liberty. Let me say this. Loans mean lowering of available net salary. Loans. Lowering of available net salary. A matter of fact. Am I right? So when you borrow money from an institution, make sure there is value addition. When you borrow money from Vision Africa, don't go keeping money in the bank account. You know why? The moment you get money into your hands, problems come in. You remember your bed is making a lot of noise. Money makes you realize the bed, which you have been sleeping for the last 7 years, has been making a lot of noise, like an empty Coca-Cola lorry. So you say, can I have? You took a loan of 15 million or 10 million. You start now addressing what we call depreciating assets. You buy a bed. Then you realize the caps are old. All of a sudden. And especially the ladies, I'm coming to you. Why should you have 100 caps in your house? Is your house a restaurant? Why? Wasting resources. Some caps have learned out of fashion. Because you bought in 2000 and you have been saying Zawageni. They have never come for the last 14 years. I wish you had invested that money in Vision Africa. You could be earning dividends. Am I right? You should understand which part of the blade has butter. Money does not require a bigger formula. Let me tell you, money is not an academic thing. For your information, the richest people in the world, they have no degree. Mark Zuckerberg, the owner of now WhatsApp and the owner of Facebook, he dropped in second year in the university. Warren Buffett has never been in a class in a university. Carlos Slim, the telecommunication mogul from Mexico, has never been to a class. Elon Musk, who closed the 1 trillion mark last week. I was watching CNN, Sky News, because in my house I don't watch those programs with no value. Where I'm being told 5 men have been kidnapped. So I do what? Am I a prosecutor? Where I hear, you know, Kenya is a place where we have what we call paralysis of analysis. Why is the Auditor General informing us how much has been stolen? Are we the people to follow? She only aggravates our bitterness. Am I right? Because you feel bad when you see your taxes being misused. And I want to ask all of you, because Kenyans, you have a problem, including you seated here because you are part of the statistics. Why do we go electing fools and thieves? And if I find you complaining, I'll know something is wrong with your head. You are the people who put those people there. You are the one who cast the vote. And when I come asking you to give me votes for president in 2032, you start asking who is Kibicho. Are you interested in where I came from or where we are headed? So what I'm saying is this. Now, a good loan, take a loan to start a business for your spouse. Take a loan to expand your business. Am I right? Take a loan, not to go buying clothes. Ladies, if you are here and you have 30 years, let me, of course, give you a Fiat. Do not go buying new clothes. There is one battle you have already lost. You never become a Miss World. So why are you competing in a battle you have already lost? Why do you keep changing your hairstyle? Cleopatra, hot water, Daniela, Calypso, ponytail, Ghanaian, Jamaican, Mohoko. For what? Nyolewa! After all, itamea tena. Let's move on. Are we together up to that point? So, kindly, because you are the elites, you are the people who are sharp in this town, make sure you talk to your brother and your sisters. When we are putting somebody as a governor, if you put a fool, let me tell you, if you put a fool and you expect things to happen, you are the one whose intellectual capacity has problems. Please make sure that you put a responsible character. Am I right? Because they squander your life. I remember I was driving my Aston Martin along Machakos and I hit a pothole. As I was driving my Aston, these are the kind of cars I talk about: Aston Martin, Lamborghini, Ferrari, Porsche Cayenne. Yeah, I'm tired of Toyotas anyway. Toyota has become, anyway. So what I'm saying is this. So take a loan. A good loan improves your financial well-being. Am I right? So take a loan and expand your business. Take a loan and go back to school like me. Because coming here, I charge in dollars. And he knows, he can tell you how much. And he had to negotiate a lot. And because of this brother of mine here, he made me to accept. Of course, not half a million shillings. I don't take anything less than half a million shillings for 2 hours. And that is what has made my wife to remain in my house, because I have resources. If you don't have resources, how do you maintain a Range Rover? And you know ladies are expensive, am I right? So I'll tell you for free, and I thank God for Fish on Africa. I'll be talking about Fish on Africa for a few minutes, shortly. And if you are interested in getting a book after we are through, I came with less than 100 books. And Mr. Hiram told me to sell you at a discounted rate. If you go to Textbook Center, my 6 books are going at 7,250. He said he's going to cover for 1,250. So sell to them 6,000 shillings per the set. And I said, it's okay, as long as you cater for the margin. Because I do not operate under Mother Teresa philosophy of philanthropy. So what I'm saying is this. So you must identify a good loan and a bad loan. Now, most of us people, you have got bad loans. Am I right? Before you sign that dotted line in the bank, you must do the cost of finance. How much is it going to cost you? Does this loan application offer you a redemption clause? What is a redemption clause? Some of us don't know. There are some financial institutions that marry you for 15 years. Why are you being married for 15 years? Ask for redemption. And for those people who are wired like me financially and economically, I clear loans very fast. Because that one makes me to save money in terms of interest. Am I right? And you do many projects. And I'm not proud because my name has appeared in the Ministry of Lands. I was to be called last week by the minister asking me, how do you feel? I said, I'm okay. Have you seen me in hospital? Because you see, you cannot be working in this universe and you're struggling the way you struggled when you got employed. Unless you have a problem. Am I right? You cannot be driving the same Peugeot 404 that you bought in the year 1993. Hiko na mabati gumu. Tutakula mabati. Enjoy. You require a car with Wi-Fi. You require a car with what you call YouTube, capabilities. You require a car with Bluetooth facilities. Igino na mzee, anakula ulimi kwanza. Even the body No way. We must advance, am I right? And let me tell you, let's go to some people. Why is we have some very wealthy people in Kenya, and I want to thank God. Did you see one gentleman who passed on last week, but one in Mombasa? How surprised you? Do you know what? Do you know why we Africans, most of us, are not rich? Because we are so mean. If you want to become rich, it is in giving. That guy was feeding 40,000 people every day for 7 years. The owner of Baburi who passed on, 40,000 every day, and he never went broke. We people, especially when you get money, we become so proud. Pride comes before a fall. I'm educating 59 orphans, and I've already graduated 7 young men and women in the universities. And I give, because the hand that gives is the hand that receives. Some of us, we are so mean that even when you employ people, you are running a hotel business, but you have employed standard 8 people because you do not understand what we call the cost-benefit analysis. By the end of the day, she has killed 8 glasses. You are paying her 8,000, but she has broken 8 glasses. By the end of the month, you have lost assets worth more than 30, 40, 50,000 shillings. I remember Mr. Alon Ligela, the former CEO of the defunct Kenya Anti-Corruption Authority. He said, pay well, employ brains. Pay peanuts, employ monkeys. So that's where the people became. Let me tell you, becoming wealthy is not chemistry. It's not physics. What do they do that we don't do, most of us? If you want to become wealthy, you must avoid what we call instant gratification. Do not buy a car because he has bought a car. When you find people running or driving fast or running in Nairobi streets, don't run because they are running. There is one running to go and donate brand. There is now one running to go for interviews. There is one running to go and cash a freight. And there is one running because of diarrhea. All of them are doing what? They are all running. So why are you running? Have you identified your version of life? And I'll be talking about Vision Africa as the best person. Let me go on because of time. Those people who are wealthy, and some of them I can see majority of you are wealthy. If you are not, don't you worry, you are still a potential wealthy character in the universe. They do one thing that most of us people don't do, they save. If you don't save, you'll never become wealthy. And they will confirm to you, my brothers and sisters seated here. Am I right? Na diposa wahenga wakasema, haba na hamba, na ukiona vierea, na bahati ya mwenzio, na mtegemea shaduguye, na manjuto ni mjukuu, huja baadaye, na usiposiba ufa, utajenga ukuta, na ukistajabu ya Musa, utaona ya Firauni jameni. So what am I saying? They save, and those people who save, they become investors. If you save at Vision Africa, you can imagine from the time this world was created, we refer to it in the academic circles cosmopolitan cosmogon, which is called the universe for that matter. Circles charge 1% interest rate per month, reducing balance. Vision Africa has already given loans to the tune of about 680 million shillings or thereabouts to people paying 1%. Go to a bank. A bank is like a dancing hall where you cannot count the steps. Because you know how many steps people make in the dancing hall, especially when they are many. You know why? Like now they refer to the base rate offered by the Central Bank of Kenya. But imagine he's still charging at 1% and you don't have a loan. I'll tell you the miracle that will surprise you. I told people at Crevas in Thika I was invited and they flew me. They came looking for me because I was in another meeting in Widza Hotel. So they sent the shopper to come and pick me. And I'm telling you, you know, I asked you a very simple question. Are you a value? Do you impact on people's lives? Most of you are employers. If you continually oppress your employees, you'll never go far. And I would surprise you. Today, I was sharing with him, and I showed him how we miss it, even accountants. And you know, even accountants nowadays, they want to be recognized. You have to call him CPA Hilam, ugly as it is. You must recognize a HR specialist. So you know what I'm talking about? CHRP, Certified Human Resource Personnel. Make a mistake. Even architects, they are called Akiejo. Because identity is key in life. So let me ask you this, all of you looking at me here. Did you know that most of us people, our balance sheet is weak because we do not know the buttons to place in our lives? And I gave an example in the morning. With a lot of respect to my mother, may she passed on, may she rest in peace, and my daughters because I have several of them. My wife is very fertile. You know, a lady with money, when a husband has money, it is unless you control, you can get 50. And I have given my wife strict instructions that in my house there is no Premier League, only friendly matches. Now, and if you know that we have money, some of us, these are my phones. It depends on where you belong. If you don't have anything to do with more than half a billion shillings, this is the phone that will ring. These are people below 500 million in terms of their asset base. These are people struggling in the universe with an asset base of 25 million and thereabouts. But I still respond to them. But if the president calls me, of course, you know, so I normally use, you can even see, do you require to be told? Those people who understand, they appreciate. So these are the kind of phones that it is even telling me that my body temperature is now at 35. You are a healthy, continue. They even instruct me when to go to the washroom. So what I'm saying is this. Life is sweet, gentlemen and ladies. I'll surprise all of you. Let me first of all come to this with a lot of respect to our sisters who are in the house. When a lady goes to the office, she arrives at her desk. 10 minutes, she was spent in the mirror at the washrooms. And I demonstrate. Then after that, she goes for the, how many minutes? 10. Then she goes back to her desk. She actually keeps a few things. Then she goes to what we call WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat for 10 minutes. Before she settles, she's in the kitchen. Nishamshie maji, naweke pilipili, naweke lemon. So she settles after 25. If that is repeated for one whole year, how many man hours have you wasted? And that is why we came up with KPI, key performance indicators. If you are making blades, I need 100 blades per day. If you make less than 100, then I have a reason to show you the door. Because I want to manage even time. Because time means, like the acronym time, time in market expires. Time in market expires. And remember, you are not alone in the universe. We have other competing. I'll be showing you here in Mtasheka Nyote. Now what happens? This person who saves money anyway becomes an investor. And those people who become an investor, they become, do you know what they do? They create wealth. And those people who create wealth, they land on the fast lane. They drive a good car. They live in a house with what we call a walk-in closet. Like it normally takes me between 19 to 22 minutes to decide which suit to wear. It's because I have several. For this, and now he can tell you that when I was with him in the you remember the kind of wash I was wearing. Now this is different because it has to match with my suit. Or you have forgotten? Because he's still the same watch that he had during daytime. Yes, I appreciate it as giving the same time. We're in the same Greenwich, but of course, anyway. So what I'm saying, those people who create wealth, now not this at the line, we are talking about financial freedom. They go to the most desired destination, which is called the financial freedom destination. The financial independence destination. Money works for you. You no longer work for money. Dr. Manu Shadaria does not report to the office to work. He just goes to supervise what's happening, and he donates a lot of money to charity. She even gave more than 200 million to University KU, Dr. Manu Shadaria Incubation Center. Where does your name appear? You know, people are very funny. When you go to Mount Kenya, you cry. You go to Mount Kenya, you write, I was here. But when you go to a room with a Mpago Akado, nobody writes, I was once here. I wish I had enough time. I could have surprised all of you. Let's go to this financial freedom destination. And I'll tell you this for free. For you to become financially empowered, for you to become financially independent, and when you go to financial independence, and I'm telling you this, money works for you. You should only work for some time. Allow money to work for you, my sister. You have worked for long. Some people are very funny because business people, because you have not yet graduated to entrepreneurs, even when your leg is aching, because you think utaibiwa na wafanyikazi, you go with your leg aching. Even when your voice is hoarse, you know, because some of our businesses have got no structures. They are being operated in a manner like it suggests that this person has never been into a class. Don't keep money in your house. Take money to Vision Africa because a transactional account will give you good loans. Some of you understand what I'm talking about. Anybody, there is nobody who is so rich in the universe or wealthy in the universe who does not want to multiply his or her wealth. Sir Richard Branson is still making more money. That's why he's buying the space shuttles. And you know, for those people who fly like my brothers here, he has got Virgin Atlantic, you know, the Virgin Airways, Virgin trains. Wherever we go, he normally uses trains. We are still giving him more. You know what? I'll surprise all of you. If you are here, you have no financial goal. You are a candidate of failure. Because I said, if you don't know where you are going, and Lord will take you there. So what is your financial dream? Some of you dreamt, said in January with your spouses, you'll take your wife to Zanzibar. You'll take your wife to South Africa. Either Durban, either Pretoria, Johannesburg. Of course, when I'm in Johannesburg, I sleep in Santon. You know Santon? Lifonia Lodi Maude Street. I'm very much aware that it's not Nakuru anyway. But you see, you never started saving. You know, most of us people, we suffer from what we call fabo diarrhea. Fabo diarrhea, which is not coupled with activity. You must act accordingly. Act accordingly. So if you want to become wealthy, and I'm still talking about financial empowerment, what you need to do, you must observe 2 financial commandments. Commandment number 1, which is obvious. It may appear simple, but it has heavy undertones. Always learn to live within your means. That is what we call we call it canon law in personal finance, in financial empowerment, whether in Kenya, whether you are in Stanford, whether you are actually in Birmingham, is ringtone for those who are calling themselves fans of Arsenal, they have never been to Emirates. You are just but an example of somebody suffering from kwashiorkor shiringiosis. KSH, kwashiorkor shiringiosis. Emirates is in Sydington in UK. You know what happens? You must learn to appreciate that if you want to form a dam, you must stop the flow of the river. Am I right? Yes. We have river dam. Are you telling me that before the river dam was made, there were no rivers flowing to Mombasa, Indian Ocean? Realize that if you want to become wealthy, you must observe the leaking areas of your finances. Some of you people, you host so many guests in your house. Your house is not a restaurant. I have done so many graduations, none in my house. Even when my daughter was getting married, and my daughter is as sharp as the father. She looked at Kenyans and realized there is no money here in Kenya. So she looked at one of the nations which is known globally in terms of producing oil, OPEC. She got married in Abuja, Nigeria, where we were given more than 15 million nailas. You know they come dancing, dropping $1 million. See, you come Kenyans, you know. She became so strategic. And I have instructed the others to follow suit. So what I'm saying is this. Let me say, listen to this carefully. I don't have a lot of time. Please make sure. And I hope this is going down into the people's area where the truth rests. That it does not matter how rich you are, you must learn to spend less than you earn. In other words, we say live within your means. Cardinal rule number 1, rule of the third. Number 2, all of you. Now please be honest. I'm going to ask this question to all of you listening to me tonight. How many of you pay yourselves first? Cardinal rule number 2, learn to pay yourself first. Be honest. If you pay yourself and not taking beer, because some people think that I pay myself by taking beer. Or flying out with, no. Paying yourself first. Do you even understand the concept of paying yourself first? Vision Africa is going to give you that platform. Let me explain to you. Like today, I had to pay my foodies in Mombasa. I'm putting a small beach house, which is costing me 51 million. Because cement is available from Mombasa and a few other things, and colors and what have you. That's one of my investors. So what I'm saying is this. My project manager, I pay him 2,500 per day. Watu wa kujenga na mawe ni 1,200. Watu wa mkono ni pesa ngapi? So you already know how much you pay them. You know the value of their being per day. Our house manager in my house, because we don't eat anything in our house, we have to employ somebody from Utalii College. My wife pays her 35,000 a month. And she sleeps where? In our house. In her own separate house with a very big TV which is called Skyworth. Because we don't like you interfering. You know those other TVs may come and they interfere with the networks. So, so in other words, my wife pays her 1,130 shillings per day. So we already know the value of our house manager. Of course, she has to mind about my welfare. Me, I don't just eat anything. I'm celebrating my 51st birthday on tomorrow. Is it Sunday, 22nd September? If you can go to my FB page, I'll be 51 years on Sunday. Yes, I married at a very tender age of 21. And if you see my wife, you may not know that she has downloaded 5 terabytes files. She looks like she's still a virgin. You know it because you see, if you subject your wife to torture, financial torture, age catches up, her Canada runs twice in a year. So 700. Now, Dr. Mwagi of Equity gets paid 27 million a month. So if you divide 27 million by 30 days, you can imagine how much money he earns per day. So you know the value. And remember, Dr. Mwagi is the CEO of Equity, yet he earns dividends. The previous year, he was paid 680 million shillings in terms of dividends, and he donated 100 million to Meru University. How much have you donated yourself? You have nothing to donate in the first place. Leave alone donating, even paying bills. Calls are coming and you know, sasa huyu, kwani milioni moja nini alinipatia last week? Kama haikuwa pesa, boda ulimuitisha. Don't go borrowing money from individuals, borrow from corporates. Because we say the borrower is a slave to the lender. Our country, Kenya, right now has already gone past the headroom. So we are at 11.65 trillion Kenya shillings. Who is controlling us? IMF, World Bank, Bretton Woods institution. So even when the president goes to visit a country, he's not respected because he's a man carrying debts. People with debts are not loved even in the Bible, for those who read the Bible. Poor people, God has no time for poor people. And the Bible gives us 3 people. One who had 5 shekel, 3 shekel, 1 shekel. You remember in the Bible? And what does the Bible say? That the poor will live among us. And who are the ones who normally, like come mowing my grass, of course, my compound is big enough. So all my compounds, you have to use a lawn mower, which is power generated. So power propelled. So what happens? How many of you pay yourselves? Let me come to this point so that I make you feel bad, all of you. From today, you must learn to pay yourselves. Allow me to make it simpler for you to understand what we call a budget. How many of you budget? Don't tell me again. Why do you have a budget? Like now we had the finance bill. People don't know that the finance bill is what finances the budget. Am I right? This is what we call a budget policy statement that comes. Like now all the ministries in the government, they are giving their financials so that the government may start preparing the next finance bill. Now, you see, why do you do a budget? Some of us people, when you get paid, allow me to use that, although I know you're a business, you're entrepreneurs. Or I always still use your language. I wish I had a board here. So when you get money, if you don't live in your own house, any income that you get, I wish I can be given some papers here. I could have them. I'm a lecturer. And I like demonstrating using by use of diagrams to make people understand better. There's a professor called Professor Confucius. He says seeing is believing. And I hope the management is hearing me. So what happens, the first person that you pay if you don't own a house is landlord. Am I right? And we assume you pay your landlord 100,000 shillings. Divide 100,000 by 30 days. 3,333 shillings per day. So part of your day goes to paying landlord. When you're busy working and carrying cement and Y18, Y25, of course I'm familiar with this Y8 and whatever because this is what I use every day when I'm building my empires. Now what happens? So you can imagine, Mr. Governor, part of your day, I want to make you feel bad. I wish I had a paper here. You 3,333 goes to the landlord. Wait, what about Kenya Paraffin lighting candles? Oh, sorry. Kenya Power lighting. Kenya Power, you pay another 50,000. Divide by 30. 1,800 per day. Add it to 3,333. 6,000 shillings. Now, go to Wi-Fi. Majority of you have got Wi-Fi, and none of you maybe is in school studying. You have gone to Wi-Fi so that you may see a red dancing, Kamati Yashini, Kamati Yashini, Kamati Yashini. How much do you get because of watching Kamati Yashini? So your ISP, your internet service provider, charges you 10,000 shillings. In my house, I spend 15,000 because I have to have a very high Mbps because I'm a scholar. And it gets paid. Even my presence here is paying my bills. So, you say 7,000 or 10,000, another 333 shillings. So by the end of the day, then there's another person who waits for you, especially Christians. You have a pastor or a bishop waiting for you in terms of tithes and offerings. Then we have to what we call social welfare fund, which is actually depleting our resources. Every fund here has got a WhatsApp group, either medical, mazishi, or a bill. Am I speaking the truth? I was doing the calculation of the money that I spent. Of course, God has endowed me with resources. And I saw that on average per month, I spend about 120,000 shillings. Because like now, if I open this hybrid iPhone 27, they are not yet here in Kenya. Don't go looking for one. There's nowhere. You'll see that I've got so many WhatsApp groups, people demanding money from me. And being a public figure, you'd expect them, I can't send 1,000 shillings because of my status in society. I'm not oscillating in the same stratosphere with majority of Kenyans. And therefore, I have to maintain my status quo. So you end up spending another 30,000. What about the water bills that you pay? Can't you see what about the car that you drive? A car is a depreciating asset. It's a liability because it's on your income as it gives you comfort. Even the house that you live in is a liability because you spend money to maintain it. So you see, by the end of the day, you spend 90% of your income paying others. When do you pay yourself? So I told my wife, I have already placed a value on my head. Every day, I pay myself. If I'm paying an average of 80,000 shillings every weekend because of my projects, and I pay these people, why can't I pay myself? Remember, people are afraid to you when you have money. The moment money disappears from you, they also disappear. We say this is what we call the power of attraction. Like now, I've got so many friends. Anywhere I go, I get stopped. Prof. Either I taught him or what? Because I have taught more than 500,000 people, especially Kenyans. Locals, 500,000. Then outside they have taught many people, of course, through the media. And you know me, I'm a social media person. YouTube and TikTok, I do. But I get paid. I don't go talking nonsense. I have no space. My head is wired that there is no meniscus for nonsense cartel. So there's nothing like that. And I have acute allergy for mediocrity. If I realize that you're not adding value to me, I'll do what I do in a toilet. You know what I do? I flush and I go. I don't check back what I have done. I'll just disappear into the thin air. Because I have no time to waste. Am I right? You should not have any time. Why should you go and sit in a person's business for more than 3 hours? And you're not discussing matters business? Why should you work with me if you're working with me and your business has got financial issues and problems? So, if you learn to pay yourself, what will happen basically? To become financially empowered means that you can stop working and life goes on meeting all the bills. During COVID, we learned a lesson. Am I right? Some of us people, I'm telling you, we are still trying to, wipe and of course to overcome what we call the shock that we got out of COVID. Am I speaking the truth? Some of our lifestyles, ladies used to have very fresh hairs, palm full of growth. Men who are taking good beer, they are on keg. They are saying, whatever it is, as long as it intoxicates me, I'm comfortable. As long as I stagger. You know, when you don't have money, you have no choice. You behave like a hyena, literally. Clearing and whatever comes your way. Even dressing like a rainbow. You don't match even the socks. You see, in my case, I have to mind about my socks and my shoes. Because I'm conscious about my life. When you don't have money, you're not conscious. Am I right? Vision Africa, what it has done, and I'll surprise you shortly, it is going to give you a platform where you can also generate money so that you enjoy passive income. Underline that. We have got passive income and active income. Let me make a difference between passive income and active income. Active income, if you have to report to your workstation to make money, you are still poor by all definition. A wealthy person may go for a holiday. Like I normally take a 6-month cruise ship. I bought it from a place called, for those who are Istanbul, Turkey, a place called Ankara. I even go to Traya. You know those? And I normally sleep in Ladson Buru in Istanbul, where I feel paying. So what I'm saying is this. You know, active income means that if you're not able to go to your place of work, you're not generating any money. Passive income means money is working for you. Like now we have a project. They are putting up this building. A very beautiful building. And you know what? I thank God for the board of directors of Vision Africa. Thank you so much, Mr. Hilam Masharia. And you know what has made Vision Africa to grow? It is because they have a CEO who is a man of vision, a man of character, a man of fara, a charismatic fella, a pragmatic fella, a man of tandem and decorum, a man of integrity, and a man of character. And he does not believe in activities. We believe in results. So imagine you Nakuru people, you've been given a forum by the board of management of Vision Africa. You may think if you want to become wealthy, and I told you I'll surprise you. Do you know what happens? Assuming Mr. Who? Benjamin. Here, let me give him as an example before I talk about that building. Don't you worry, I'm winding up. Do you want me to stop? If you say I stop, after all, you have already spent whatever was on the table. What you're using now is Wajackoyah. Now what I'm saying is this. Now pay attention to this again. Benjamin is 35 years of age. So he has only 25 years, active years. He wants to put up a building worth 20 million shillings, and he says I'll be saving 10,000 shillings per month. So what is 10,000 times 12? 120,000. Add it to 35. It will be 45. Am I right? Add another 10, 2.4. It will be 55. Add another 10, 3.6, 65. Add another 10, 4.8, 75. So even the one in heaven will be complete before the other one. So how does he now become wise? By reducing the number of years he could have worked. You just walk to a place called Vision Africa. You get a loan of 20 million to be paying per month to be able to cater for the project which could have taken all your time and energy without being able to cushion yourself against inflation. Am I right? Because the value in the year 2000, listen to this, those people who have done, in the year 1960, 2000 was buying a new Peugeot 504. In the year 1970, 2000 could buy a motorbike. In the year 2000, 2000 could buy a bicycle. In the year 2024, 2000 only buy you breakfast. Am I speaking the truth? So I want Benjamin to go to Vision Africa, take a loan of 20 million, start paying using what we call the OPM. OPM stands for operating on other people's money. So you will be able to get the money from all these individuals and your dream comes true. That's how you redeem time, because time is of essence. Am I right? Don't go putting up a 5-story building or a mansion in Luda with 17 bedrooms when your children are grown. That's what we call paralysis of analysis and mental psychosis. Listen to this. This building, it is going to cost between 120 maybe to 250 million. Holding all factors constant, ceteris paribus. We are telling you to invest in this building, and the investment amount of money you put here will be earning you a passive income of 15% every year. Note that at the line, you know, Kenyans don't figure sometimes, but I'm telling you this, just like hips of a woman, figures never lie. Listen to this. If you put $1 million here, and some of you have got, and never let your money lie idle in the bank. Only poor people let money lie idle in the bank. Even me at my level, I have got no savings of more than 15 million.